Let me tell you about the hardest day of my life, son. Not the day I buried my father, not the day I lost my job, and not even the day my hands started shaking from old age. No, the hardest day of my life was the day my own sons looked at me like I was already dead. I am an old man now. My beard is white, my back is bent, and my voice, well, it carries the dust of many years. When you live as long as I have, you stop counting birthdays. You start counting regrets. Back in my day, a man's worth was measured by how much he could endure without complaining. We didn't talk much about feelings. We worked, we sacrificed. We swallowed pain like bitter medicine and told ourselves it was for the family. I did the same. I was born poor. Not the kind of poor you read about in books, but the kind where hunger sleeps beside you at night. My father was a strict man, but fair. He used to say, a man who runs from responsibility is already half dead. Didn't understand it then. I do now. I married young. Your grandmother, God rest her soul, was the strongest woman I ever knew. She had tired eyes even in her 20s, but her smile could calm storms. Together we had 3 sons. 3, each one different. Each one carrying a piece of my heart without knowing it. The eldest, Imran, was sharp. Always calculating, always thinking 2 steps ahead. He learned early how to speak sweetly while hiding his true thoughts. The middle one, Kamran, was emotional, restless, forever chasing approval. And the youngest, Saad. He was gentle, quiet. He used to follow me like my shadow. Son, when your children are small, they think you are a giant. They think you know everything. You don't realize how precious that time is until it's gone. I worked wherever I could. Construction sites, factories, night shifts. My hands cracked, my knees swelled, my lungs filled with dust. But every time I came home and saw food on the table, school bags by the door, I felt rich. I never told my sons how tired I was. I never told them about the nights I slept hungry so they could eat. Fathers of my generation believed silence was strength. That was my first mistake. Years passed. The boys grew. Education became expensive. Dreams became bigger. And slowly, without me noticing, respect started turning into expectation. Abba will manage, they'd say. I did manage. I always did. When Imran wanted to start a business, I sold a piece of land my father had left me. When Cameron failed his exams twice, I paid again. When Saad wanted to study abroad, I took loans with interest that still haunt my sleep. Your grandmother used to look at me and say, "You're breaking yourself." I'd smile and say, "I'm building them." You won't believe what happened next. The day I turned 60, my body finally said no. I collapsed at work. Doctor said my heart was weak. "Slow down," he said, "or you won't last long." I came home scared for the first time in my life. I sat my sons down and told them I couldn't work like before. I expected concern, maybe gratitude. What I saw instead was calculation. Imran nodded slowly. Kamran looked away. Saad held my hand. "Don't worry, Abba," Imran said. "You've done enough." Enough. That word felt heavier than all the bricks I had ever lifted. After your grandmother passed away, the house became quiet. Too quiet. Meals were short. Conversations shorter. Slowly, one by one, my sons moved out. At first, Imran said, "It's just temporary." Kamran said, "I'll visit every week." Saad said nothing. He just hugged me. Weeks turned into months. Months into years. I stayed alone in the same house where laughter once lived. I cooked for myself. I talked to walls. I prayed more than ever. Then came the inheritance. Ah yes, money. The thing that reveals faces better than mirrors. Imran came first. He talked about distribution and fair shares. Kamran followed, agreeing to whatever Imran said. I listened quietly. When they finished, I said, "I'm still alive." They went silent. That was the moment I realized something had died long before my body ever would. I refused to divide anything. Not out of greed, but out of principle. A father is not a corpse to be carved while breathing. From that day on, visits stopped. Only Saad called. Only Saad asked if I'd eaten. Then one day, even Saad disappeared. I never thought I'd see the day when my phone would stop ringing completely. Years passed. My health worsened. My memory slipped. I started forgetting names, dates, faces. One evening, as I struggled to stand, I fell. I lay on the floor for hours. No one came. That night, son, I cried like a child. Not because of pain, but because I realized I had become invisible. Here comes the first twist. A neighbor found me the next morning and took me to the hospital. While I was there, a lawyer arrived. Turns out, your grandmother and I had made a will. A secret one. She had insisted. Protect yourself, she said. If not for you, then for the truth. The will stated that everything, house, land, savings, would go to charity. Unless my sons took care of me in my old age. I never told them. The lawyer said, Your sons have been asking questions. I smiled weakly. Let me tell you something, son. Sometimes silence is not weakness. Sometimes it's a test. One evening, Saad came back. He looked thinner, broken. He knelt in front of me and cried. Real cries. Not words, tears. He told me everything. Imran had cheated him in business. Kamran had taken loans in Saad's name. Saad had been drowning silently, ashamed to ask me for help. I left, he said, because I didn't want to disappoint you. That day I forgave him before he even finished speaking. Then the biggest twist of all. When my health declined further, Imran and Kamran suddenly returned. Apologies poured like rain after drought. I listened. Then I handed them the will. The room went silent. Faces changed. For the first time I saw fear in their eyes. Not fear of losing me. Fear of losing money.